Hi everyone, my name is Jenn, and I'm the team lead for the Innovar group team. We are a team of 6, and you will meet us as we go through our presentation. Our Innovar sponsors were Michelle Strother and Daryl Hookstraight.
Hi everyone, I'm Kyle. Innovar is a technical recruiting firm that was established in 2000. They're based out of Denver and focus on recruiting both job seekers and employers in the tech industry.
Hi, I'm Chad, and for the objectives of this project, we wanted to update the site and give it a better look and design. The site was 10 years old, so we really wanted to refresh it and improve everything we could about it, like the experience and the security and SEO. Innovar had a very specific vision in mind for their new site. They wanted something modern with a darker theme. For them, modern meant moving pieces, graphics with bold lettering, stark color choices, and less cartoony graphics. They wanted each page to tell a story instead of simply being a collection of information. We updated and simplified their color palette, typography, and layout, creating a template for each page.
Hi everyone, I'm Jacob, and I'll be briefly mentioning some of the security issues we were tasked to fix with Innovar's website. The biggest problem we had to deal with was HTTPS. Their old configuration was outdated, had outdated protocols enabled, and was often completely ignored, as you can see with the top screenshot. Combining this with an out-of-date backend and a misconfigured security software on their security stack made their security posture pretty terrible. Even though their original website was horribly insecure, we managed to make significant improvements. Innovar's website can now only be accessed over HTTPS. We improved their security software usage, and we removed various attack vectors by enabling essential security headers and cookie options. All of this leads to a bolstered security posture that will help defend them and their clients from hackers and bots for years to come.
Hey everyone, I'm Vincent, and I'll go over the SEO portion of the project. SEO is a method that increases the ranking of a website, thereby placing them higher in a search result. To do this, we added 2 plugins into WordPress, Social Web Suite and Matador Job Listing. Social Web Suite will automatically generate a LinkedIn post when a new job is posted. This will make the site appear more active to a search engine. Innovar's old website have their job listing displayed by an app. Because of this, Google indexing and search algorithms skip over all the job listings, causing it to miss out on a lot of keywords that might be relevant to the site. We solved this by implementing Matador Job Listing to work with Bullhorn, their current ATS. All of the job listing can now be scraped by a Google API, which means the job listing can also be found in Google Jobs, as well as using the content in each job posting to improve their keyword ranking and search. This will increase Innovar's visibility and web's presence.
Hey everyone, I'm Gerritt. Our final objective of the project was adding mobile friendliness to the site. People need to be able to reach and navigate your site from a variety of devices, which their old site was unable to do. Mobile friendliness is actually a big concern not just for functionality, but also for SEO. WordPress has some built-in functionality to help with this, but it's something that needs to be tailored when displaying specific information.
So we figured it would be easier to kind of take you through a before and after of each of the pages instead of doing screenshots. So we're going to start with the home page. So the first thing you notice about Innovar's old page is that it's not full screen, which gives it a really outdated look. The information found on the home page doesn't really tell you who Innovar is and what they do. It's a little scattered and redundant. The news and Facebook add-ons are not updated on a regular basis, so it adds to the total outdated feel of the site. So one of the key components for our project, which was just mentioned, was ensuring that the new site was mobile friendly. So each page on the new site is both mobile and tablet responsive. Now, when you're looking through the home page, the page tells a story. The flow of information makes sense. There are multiple calls of action throughout the sections, and it's just a much cleaner and simpler look to it.
The next page that we created for their website is the job seekers page. Their old job seekers page was actually split up into 4 separate pages that were completely full of jumbled text. The fact that the page was actually split into 4 separate pages was not obvious to the user, as it was split with a drop-down menu that only showed when you hovered over it. The new page that we made took all of these separate pages, took only the most important information from each, and then conglomerated them into one page. The information is shown in a streamlined manner with visuals attracting the user's eyes to the most important sections.
So the next page would be the employers page. This is the old employers page, and as you can see, it has way too much text and other buttons that aren't necessary and just make it very confusing and overwhelming from the user standpoint. The new page, however, is a lot cleaner, and it's just 5 simple slides that have way less text, more statistics, and just way less overwhelming from a user standpoint. It has large, easy to read text telling you the information that you need to know and nothing more.
Next, I'll be talking about the About Us page. So the old page, as you can see here, was filled with pictures and text that didn't give you a clear depiction of who Innovar Group is and why you should really care. Along with these photos and information, you can tell that there's a lot of random white space and blank area that we just kind of don't care about, along with stock images that aren't even of the actual team. With the old About Us page, we're trimming it down from a split between multiple pages into just one. And our new About Us page is split into 3 different tiles. And in the new website, we've made more into less. The old, boring info has been transformed to be shorter and more powerful to get the same point across. And since it's all using the new signature layout and style that we've designed the whole site around, the changes really shine.
The job seekers page is quite a lot to navigate between. You can see there's this layout here, and there's also an entire portal, which doesn't fit in at all with the rest of the design, and it's kind of just its own random thing, as opposed to the new page, which is entirely integrated into the style of the website, and I can search anything on it, and it functions properly, as well as working in a mobile view, where the information on each job can still be read.
All right, so we had some deliverables for the Innovar Group website. We obviously did some much needed revamping to their new site, which included mobile-friendly job listing page and just mobile-friendly site in general. We also focused on making the site more simple, as we took their old 95-page site and made it a clean 6 pages. We also created a style and theme guideline for them to use in the future and improve their SEO.
As for the success of the project, we finished all requirements of our project and were able to hand Innovar a working and functioning site. We really streamlined the content and got rid of a lot of unnecessary redundancies and information. I think this was one of the hardest things for Innovar to realize. They kept adding more words and paragraphs, and we kept having to go back and tell them only 1 or 2 sentences max. Adding more text doesn't necessarily mean you're adding content or information, especially when you're thinking in terms of mobile views. We also simplified their site navigation. There are no longer links taking you to odd, unnecessary pages. There's simply a home, job seekers, employers, about us, contact us, and a job listings page. Finally, we gained lots of experience in mostly front-end design. We learned the fundamentals of UI and UX and how to create it from scratch in certain sections. The job listings page was the main part of this project that required the most amount of time, as the individuals on that part of the project had to code it almost from scratch in HTML and PHP.
So some of the important lessons that we learned throughout this entire process, progress can be slow. Just because we were ready to start programming and filling in pages doesn't mean our sponsor was. They had a lot of back and forth internally regarding content. They knew they wanted a new site, but they weren't really sure what they wanted on their site, and were making changes up until the final deadline. Thankfully, we kept to our schedule, and at times we were a little ahead, so it helped us deal with some of these last-minute issues. So keeping to a timeline is really important, especially for the final push at the end. Communication is key. It's important to remind yourself and your sponsor of the scope of the project. It's very easy to promise or say yes to something that will add a lot of unnecessary stress and work for your team. So you need to not be afraid to tell your sponsor that a feature or change will have to go on the would like to have list, but you can't guarantee that it will get done. Also, keeping them informed of your team's deadlines can help them stay on track of what they have to do. And finally, compromise. Sometimes something just isn't working. Don't be afraid to throw it out or slim it down. And remember to deal with the most basic requirements first and then add flair. Group projects are all about compromise, especially when working with outside sponsors. Thanks. This has been Innovar Group.